To begin our program now. So I would like to bring up to the podium, I don't want to whistle, the president of the ASFD, Jason Phillips.
Thank you, John. And thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I'll keep it short and sweet. We're so excited with what we've accomplished this year for our 20th anniversary. We're so excited about our focus on students and the next generation, and I think the crowd in this room and all the universities and colleges supporting us really attest to that. Our organization is as much about connecting professionals as it is about bringing excitement to the new generation, and I think we're well on course to doing that. So thank you all for coming. Without further ado, our MC of the evening, Bill McLoughlin. Is that right? Sorry.
No worries. My name has been confounding people for 57 years. Thank you for inviting me to be here. When I joined the furniture industry last year, I was told that this was an industry of old men. I was honestly, selfishly, a little happy about that. I figured I'd fit right in. But as I look around here tonight at all of these young, vibrant faces, I think the furniture industry and its future is very, very bright. And I'm very, very grateful to be a part of this. Now, I like John a great deal, but he has given me a rather unenviable task this evening. I've been asked to introduce our keynote speaker. How do you introduce somebody who knows virtually everyone in the furniture industry and is known by virtually everyone in the furniture industry? Someone who has forgotten more about the furniture business than most of us will know. Someone who has been consulted by CEOs across the industry for decades, who has written and analyzed the furniture business for over 30 years. Someone who consistently challenges the industry to be the best version of itself. I can only do it this way. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Epperson.
Well, thank you. When I first got this invitation, I was a little concerned that you might be bringing me here to kick me for writing a rather childish book on styling, but I had a good time doing it, and it's primarily my memories of a good time and wonderful days, and looking back on some of the events and styles that we faced over the last 50 years. I know, I look young, but my first High Point market was 1967, okay? I was at the University of Virginia, and I was going into the business school to escape taking any more foreign language. And I decided to write a paper on the furniture industry, and I've been doing the same thing ever since. So I lead a very dull life. Now, I'm going to, holy cow, look at that. Is that scary? Or, hey, these people just ate. All right, let me see if I can figure this thing out. You ready for this? Yay. Oh, okay. I look around here, and you have to remember that I'm almost 70, and I'm blind as a bat. So if you come up to me and say, hey, Jerry, remember me? I'm going to say, probably not. Okay? And it has nothing to do with you. It probably has to do with me. But a lot of you are too young to remember the rich heritage that this industry has. And so I want to walk you through just a few things and tell you why they were special. Some of you are going to look at these and remember them and giggle, but let's just have a little fun. All right. Everybody know what this is? It's a classic piece of furniture by Kittinger. Okay? This is my desk that I use in the office every day. Most people don't recognize it because it's full of so much stuff. But that's my desk every day. And this desk, my desk was made in 1951, but it's It's a true classic. And this is the desk that I use behind me. And this is a National Monetary roll top called the CEO. It was a bestseller in 1986, made out of 2,200 pieces of solid oak. And it cost a fortune back then, but it was a wonderful, wonderful desk. Now let's look at some history. How many of you in here remember this end up? Okay? Now, do you remember why this end up existed? This end up was there for all we baby boomers who had young kids, and we wanted something completely unbreakable. You could not destroy it. Ladies and gentlemen, this was made out of construction grade yellow pine. And it was never finished. None of the major makers of this, Cargo, this end up, the Pine Factory, the Crate American Factory, all of these companies were out there. This stuff, if you went to the factories, they had a vat, okay, bigger than this stage. And they would drop these pieces of furniture into the vat, let them sit for a while, and then scoop them up and wipe them down. Does it get more sophisticated that in terms of finishes? But you couldn't move them, your kids couldn't move them, they were indestructible. Now, what are we about to see with the millennials? They're going to need the exact same thing, indestructible and cheap. The biggest seller of the 1990s, the most knocked off collection ever, and it was Broyhill. Broyhill had two back-to-back collections. One was the attic heirlooms, tremendously well received, and the other was Fontana. Do you know what Fontana was? Fontana was a, quote, Southwestern suit. But a Southwestern suit is sort of furniture language for Latino, okay? But it did so well, it became coast to coast, and everybody loved it. So every once in a while, there's a surprise. Now, slipcover looks. Century did it, then Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams came out with theirs, and it just took off. And it changed the industry. And guess what's back this market? Slipcover looks everywhere. They're back. What I liked about them was the original slipcovers were typical in Southern culture. And you had your slipcovers, and you put your dark colors on in the winter, and you put your light colors on in the summer months. We didn't have air conditioning back then. I'm old, I remember. And so you changed the covers for just this reason. That's the origin behind slipcovers. How about the old TV armoires and bars? You remember these things? Mirrored backs. The TVs were 14, 18 inches deep. Oh man, they were hot for a while. And look at that one, the TV looks more like a microwave. And here's a real favorite. Do you remember bed walls? And what's different about this one? This is a colonial bed wall. A colonial bed wall. I will tell you, and I come from Virginia, so I know the colonists didn't have bed walls. I know. But why not a bed wall? But the biggest selling bed walls of all came from Ashley. I'm sorry I don't have this in color. Back in the 80s, Ashley advertised, "Why sell brown furniture?" And they made a polyester finish, and they made it in silver, and they made it in blue, and they made it in an assortment of colors. And they had all ads in Furniture Today. Why sell brown furniture? Everybody's got brown furniture. Sell this. And it did really well. It was the first of the Millennium collection. World of Bob Timberlake, 1990, the industry's biggest seller. Why was Bob Timberlake so well received? Why did it do $140 million in its first year? That's wholesale. Why? When Bob Timberlake was first rolled out, they had the wall decor, they had the floor coverings, they had the tabletop, they had the entire range of textiles pre-coordinated. It was the first total home collection the industry ever had, and it outsold what anybody ever thought a collection could, because it was in gift shops, it was in furniture stores, it was in department stores. It was everywhere in one form or another. And those of us who lived during this period, somewhere in our homes, has still got one of those little round drums and probably 2 little birdhouses. You remember all those? Gotta tell you. Natuzzi leather sofas changed our business. And this shows you how smart businessmen can really impact an industry. Prior to the 1980s, in the United States, for our furniture, we only used perfect hides. The upper 5% of all finished hides were the only thing good enough to be used in our furniture. That's why our leather furniture was so expensive. Well, my good friend, Mr. Natuzzi, came over here and introduced inexpensive leather sofas that were made with character marks, okay? These weren't flaws, these weren't scars. This wasn't where some poor cow ran into a piece of barbed wire. These were character marks. And those character marks meant that it was real, it was natural, it was an honest, real, natural product. And that's why we should love it. No more of that stuff that's so perfect it doesn't look real. And he brought in leather sofas and changed the business. And leather went from being, who knows, a teeny bit of the business to being a big part of the business. And even today, remember, they're character marks. Henry Don, Scene 1. Henry Don, who normally did cuttings in Morganton of 150 to 200 suits, was making 2,800 Scene 1 suits at a time. At one time, their after-tax margins reached 30%. Can you imagine? They were tonning it. And what was so shocking about this? What was so shocking? It was so clean and so simple. It sold on the finish, and it sold during a period of time when most of the furniture was very garish and very heavily carved, sometimes with plastic. They came in and swept the industry with something so clean, it changed the industry. This is Scene 1 by Henry Don. Lexington introduced Act 2. They knew how to knock things off. This is some 1988 etagere shelving by Souder. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first venture in RTA furniture. U.S. didn't have RTA furniture in the 70s, but it was growing in popularity in Europe, growing rapidly. And so we had a few companies begin to introduce furniture that came in a box, and you assembled it yourself. This was very simple turnings and flat panels. Couldn't have been more simple. I went to Europe, and I came back with a apartment on a wall. Okay? 16 inches deep, a white melamine finish. The left-hand third unit had 2 doors that opened and a twin bed slid down, Murphy bed style. In the middle, 2 doors opened, and you lifted up the front edge of a table. It had a gate leg that came underneath it, and under the table were 4 little chairs. And up top was some storage for ketchup and salt and pepper. And you opened up the 3rd unit, and it dropped down, and it was a bar, and it was plumbed, so you could actually have it have water. If they had had a 4th unit with a toilet, it would have been perfect. They never made it much in the U.S., but it was a hell of a unit. RTA, what did RTA do for our industry? Thanks to RTA, we could now have Walmart, Target, all these other furniture stores that had no home delivery begin to sell furniture. And they began to get more creative in the designs and created furniture that, got more and more and more sophisticated. This is how it started. I still get a kick when I go into a Target or a Walmart or someplace, and here is a bedroom suit, unassembled in a box, and on the side it says gang lift. That's pretty frightening to me. Lazy Boy. Lazy Boy in 1961 revolutionized our industry. They changed it forever. They had had a recliner before, but historically, men like to recline and women like to rock. That's how it was told, and it had to be true if it were the 50s and 60s. So Lazy Boy invented the recliner rocker, the first recliner that also rocked. So it was, I don't know what the right word is, was it the first bisexual recliner? Anyway, it was the first recliner that met all of the necessities of the day. And they had the patent on it, and it lasted for a long time, and they took it a long ways. They liked it so much that when the first close to the wall chairs came out, they wanted to use this. And I love Lazy Boy, they're good to me, they're wonderful people. They came out with one that was on 2 tracks, and you release the handle and it slid forward on the tracks, so it would still rock and still recline. And when you stood up, a spring pulled it back to the wall. Only problem was, if you stood up too quick, well, I don't want to go into it. Showwood upholstery. The word eclectic means please don't give me any more fully coordinated groups. We coordinated the tables, the upholstery, everything in that room matched. And if you look at this, the exact same wood is on the front of every piece in there. And we did this, and most of them weren't structural, most of them were just tack-ons. But that's the way. We had whole businesses that didn't do anything but showwood upholstery for the homemaker that wanted everything in the room, and if you wanted to, in the entire house to match. We've changed a little bit. This was the talk of the October 1982 market, other than the recession. This was it. Singer introduced dollhouse furniture. Every piece of the kids' furniture was a different home or a different office building or a different, you had your post office, you had your grocery store, it even came with some furniture in it. It was so detailed. Guess who has 16 pieces of this in his daughter's bedroom? Guess whose daughter, who got it when she was 7, came to him when she was 10 and said, "This is embarrassing. Can we get rid of this crap?" It didn't last long. It was so cute. I mean, it was adorable. And your kid says, "Dad, I can't have my friends see me with kids." Anyway, beautifully designed. Okay. Anybody here remember rap groups? Rap groups were normal pieces of bedroom furniture, but the edges were cut off so you could butt them together. You could always tell if they were meant for a wrap group because they didn't have any edging on the side, so you could bunch them. And back then, these were used in family rooms. This is what you put your TV on. These were the first entertainment centers, were these big walls. I just can't imagine why we don't have them today. Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan started a race. And we're talking the very late 1970s, but I want you to look at the picture on the left. Do you see the bedpost with the bowling ball on top? There were about 6 companies that were having a contest to see who could build the biggest post and the biggest bowling ball. And it got to the point that these things were just massive. Seriously, one of them was about this big. They couldn't make it out of wood. They couldn't find wood big enough. So they were actually making it hollow. This sold like crazy. And it died faster than you could possibly imagine. 1976, Berk line introduces the wall away. Now, it doesn't mean much today, but in 1976, to have a recliner that could sit less than 4 inches from the wall and still fully recline was just unheard of. Recliners had to sit 2.5 feet from the wall. Recliners had to sit so far out in the room, you could put another piece of furniture behind them. They had to sit so far from the wall or else they crashed into the wall. So Berk line comes out with this, and their ad that they showed in the showroom showed 3 recliners in a row. And it had a waterfall behind the recliners. And the first guy reclined his chair and he got a mouthful of waterfall. Second guy reclined his chair and he got a mouthful of waterfall. Third guy reclined his chair, went down, and he didn't get wet. Now, we didn't appreciate what this meant, but do you know what the wall away gave us and its different variations? If it weren't for the wall away and these close to the wall mechanisms, we wouldn't have our multi-seat motion we have today. All of the sofas and others that have built-in motion are all derivatives of this original chair when it first came out. And so, again, this little idea changed the entire industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make an observation. The people that moaned the loudest were most likely conceived on a waterbed. Do you realize how many apartments had their floors collapse because people filled their waterbed up and the floors weren't meant to hold that? We had people who were limited to the ground floor with waterbeds, and the waterbeds weren't particularly comfortable. If you want to get sloshed, here's the way to do it. And then they came in and they put these heaters in. And this was one of my first exposures to imports. Back when this came out, we're talking the late 60s, early 70s, and when these things were popular, there was a company that went public called Classic Waterbeds, and their waterbeds were about $40 a piece. And I went to one of my retailers, and he kicked them off the floor and was carrying the imports. And I said, why? He says, well, the import bladders are $6 a piece. I said, are they any good? He says, no, they leak about half the time. I said, well, why are you using them? He says, well, I can replace them 4 or 5 times for less money than make a U.S. one. So anyway, waterbeds are still around for those of you who are thrill seekers. This is a more normal piece, and this was incredibly well received. And the early ones, these were the playpens. These were sectionals that could be bunched together, and you could just, sometimes they put them completely in a square, and you'd get a running start and just leap into them and fly. Some of them, most of them were filled with lots and lots of pillows. That was a reflection of the lifestyle of the times. And I think there's a market for this today. Circa 60. Circa 60 is the last of the Danish influences. This is before most of y'all's time. But I've got it in here for one thing. Do you notice the company name that's making it? The company name is Heritage Henredon. What's wrong with that? Well, right after this, Heritage was bought by the people that owned Drexel, and it became Drexel Heritage, and Henredon became independent. But this was one of the last Danish collections to come out from a major manufacturer. Tour Navaka. This was the biggest #1 seller in 1968 and 1969 in the case goods industry. It's made with lovingly hand-poured styrene on the front, and this was it. Pulaski and Singer used to have showrooms on either side of the green wing, opposite, and they'd have a contest to who could make the ugliest furniture with the biggest pieces of stuff. Pulaski had one that had fake marble posts on the side and crushed red velvet on the front. And this was a bedroom suit. All right? If I'm lying, I'm dying. This was perhaps the single collection that had the biggest impact on the industry in the 70s. These pressed back chairs, this, your grandmother's furniture, country furniture, partially based on the movie The Sting, changed our industry and did one thing completely different. One, it was the first suit to be sold by the piece, not as a complete suit. You bought a piece here, a piece there. It was made to look like. Are y'all talking about Leonard? No. I'm sorry. Hold it. Sit down. Be quiet. Be quiet. Leonard, stand back up. I don't want to honor Leonard for this. I want to honor him for this. Leonard introduced La Boheme, Bohemian furniture that was the best-selling suit at Levitt's in 1971, 72, and 73. The plastic on the front of the drawers, in some parts, were 6 inches thick. This white picture doesn't show it very well, but Leonard, tell me if I'm lying, it had gold trim, right? And it also came in a fruit wood, read that brown wood finish, and in a pale blue, right? Pale blue case goods. I swear to people, you know, I don't know whether it was the influence of the University of North Carolina or what, but we had pale blue case goods. Leonard had back-to-back biggest collections in our industry, without question. Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard Eisner. I'm close to wrapping this up, but I didn't want to do it without an Italianate dinette. The influence of our young people coming back from World War II with what they saw in Europe and the curves and the collections and the bright colors brought some interesting furniture with them. I want to take a moment here at this time, and I think we all will appreciate the solemn nature of this, because after its introduction in 1986 and being the most difficult collection to kill that's ever been, there were some manufacturers or vendors, I should probably say, that if you went in their showroom, they had 5 different Louis Philippes in their showroom. You couldn't find anyone who made bedroom who didn't have a sleigh bed and a collection of Louis Philippe furniture. It's still out there, but it's hanging on like somebody, you can almost see the flat line coming. It's 30 years old. Introduced by Sherwood Robertson at National Mount Airy. Now let's look ahead for a minute. This just shows you the number of people by their ages. Baby boomers, about 76 million of us right now. We're 51 to 69 years of age. We're beginning to die off, okay? Let's face it. Our influence is waning. We're trying to save money for our retirement. I've told my wife we're not saving anymore. My mother lived 26 years longer than my father, and my grandmother lived 25 years longer than my grandfather. The way I figure it, any more savings I get, it's just going to help Kathy's next husband. And so I'm saying, why should I worry about that son of a bitch? So I'm not saving anymore. But let me tell you, we've had a role. For the last 40 years, we baby boomers have dominated this industry. If you could find something that the baby boomers liked, you were in high cotton. And we knew it and we dominated. For the last 10 years, Gen X has grown into the dominant years. But what I want you to look at is the group that's now 18 to 36. There are 83 million of them. Even at our peak, we baby boomers were only 77 million. In between we 77 million and the millennials, who are 83 million, there's a generation in there about 50 million. That 50 million's been a problem because it couldn't support all the retail. It couldn't support our economy that was built for we 77 million. But the oldest baby boom, the oldest millennial, the oldest child of a baby boomer turned 36 this year. So they're in those peak spending years between 35 and 55, where you buy the most furniture. And that generation every year is going to have a bigger and bigger share of that dominant piece. Here's the spending. You can see between 35 and 55. We can tell you what the age groups are and what they spend by infant furniture and bedroom furniture and all that good stuff. But as this new group, and think about the millennials, they are exceptionally well parented, if nothing else. Okay? Good looking children. But think about the millennials. First of all, they've never grown up without a computer. This is the first generation where women are earning over 60% of the degrees. What does that tell you about the role we're going to have, gentlemen, 10 and 20 years from now? Get ready for dishpan hands. If you look at what this is going to do, the women and minorities have had the same educational opportunities as white males for the very first time. And it's going to have such a change in our economy, such a change in our productivity, it's going to be explosive over the next 20 years. I'm not going to go into this, it takes too much time, but each generation, what was my generation best known for? We were the first generation to never know a home without a TV. What do we still like to do? Watch TV. Millennials, first generation to never know a home without computers. They love theirs, they're so advanced. I hate my computer. Most people my age hate computers. I've got two young people that put out all my publications and all these neat O'Keen slides and all that stuff. And they laugh at me because I asked their help a couple of times during the day. I can't get this damn screen off, or this email doesn't work. And they come in and they hit a button and everything's right. And every once in a while they're giggling outside my door. And the way, I mentioned to them subtly that the day I get as good on a computer as they are, I don't need them anymore. But the truth is, I will never get that good. But here's the other little secret to this. Even though your incomes peak, the accumulation of wealth, the value of your home, your savings, our generation was the first one to have IRAs and 401ks and all these big programs, big life insurance policies. We bought stocks when they were cheap. We bought homes when they were cheap. We control, we're the wealthiest generation. We control somewhere close to 70% of the wealth. And who is most important in our life? Our kids. And I'm going to wrap up here with one last story to make this, you understand, I've told this story many times. My daughter, my only daughter, got married a number of years ago, and the wedding got to be over $60,000, which was a big, expensive wedding in Richmond, Virginia. And my wife told me not to be cheap. She was the only granddaughter on either side. And I was doing a good job, but one day I called her in and I said, there has to be somebody you don't need to invite. You know, you don't have to invite everybody you've ever known. And secondly, you know, I'm not trying to save a dime here, but I would like to make you an offer. I will, if you'll have a $30,000 wedding instead of a $60,000 wedding, I will give you a new car. She was driving a 4-year-old car, you can imagine the shame. And I will give you a down payment on your first house. Okay? She thought about it. She went to Matt, her new husband, or soon to be, talked to him, came back, and she said, Dad, the wedding's not for me. It's for Mom. It's for my grandmothers. And besides, you'll still give us the car and the down payment on the house. And I will wrap up by saying that we're the most blessed industry in the world, not just because of people like are here tonight, but we're the most blessed industry in the world because technology is driving people to the home. More people are working from home, shopping from home, studying, taking classes from their home. All this technology is creating this wonderful home of the future. And go ahead, John, nobody noticed. Creating this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful home of the future. The auto industry is scared to death because we may not need 2 or 3 cars per household if we're not shopping out as much or going to work as much. We may not need all those restaurants. The office furniture industry is scared to death. Why do you think Herman Miller just bought Design Within Reach? They're scared to death, and we're in the catbird seat if we're smart enough to take advantage. But just remember, everything evolves. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for putting up with me. I'm flattered at the invitation.
Thank you, Jerry. I don't know how you got in my house and took a picture of my colonial bed wall. Just have a little something for you here.
Wow.
So I don't know if I'm the right one to be honoring you for a lifetime of achievement, but
oh my gosh.
From what I've learned, you're really an icon here. So on behalf of the American Society of Furniture Designers, I want to give you a lifetime membership.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow.
Thank you, Jerry.
Please. Does this mean the lifetime is over?
Okay, let's let the fun begin. This is the part that I think, should I stall a little longer, John? Let's get started with the awards. Our first presenter tonight, sitting right here in front, because you're just wonderful. The very handsome, the very talented, the very charismatic with great hair. I want your hair. Mr. Bobby Berk, come on up. Bobby's going to present the awards for occasional tables, occasional storage, and youth furniture.
Thanks again, John, everybody, for having me. You know, furniture affects our lives in a lot of ways. From the moment we get up in the morning to the time we go to bed at night, furniture can either make the day good or bad. So the best way to honor the people that make our days a little better is, I think, a good, nice Pinnacle Award. So without furniture ado. That wasn't intentional, actually. Occasional tables is the first category. The first one is Christian Lemieux. I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry, Christian. For Magnuson Home. The second is Ian Leon for Phillips Collection. Third, Michael Walk for the Design Institute of America. And the fourth is Thomas O'Brien for Century Furniture. The winner is Thomas O'Brien.
The Phoenix Coffee Table by Thomas O'Brien for Century Furniture. Simply heaven. A very modern looking piece that still wouldn't look out of place in some more traditional settings.
Thank you so much. This is such a wonderful honor. And I'm so happy to be at a new home, Century Furniture, and thrilled with everyone that has worked together with me putting this whole collection together. I cannot say more about how much I love the Schufert family and all that they've done for so many years, for so many people, and for me now. And I don't know, I love High Point. I've been coming every market for, 16 years or so now, and will, as far as I know, continue to do so. It's a thrill. Thank you.
The second category is occasional furniture. And the first nominee is Steve Joyner and Erica Wingo for Bernhardt Furniture. Second is by the Caracol design team for Caracol. Where's Caracol at? The third is Catherine Bloom for David Francis Furniture. And the fourth is Dudley Moore, Lenny Chapman for Universal Furniture. And the winner is Steve Joyner and Erica Wingo.
The Adagio Credenza by Steve Joyner and Erica Wingo for Bernhardt Furniture. Gorgeous. The shelf finish is brilliant, and the stretcher base is a light touch that complements this airy look. Great creative use of stunning materials.
We'd like to thank the Pinnacle voters and ASFD and recognize our great team at Bernhardt in Lenoir and also our team overseas. Thank you very much.
This is such an incredible honor. We just want to thank you. Thanks to the ASFD as well.
And my third category is youth furniture. I think I actually have some of this in my bedroom. The first nominee is Michael Warren, Shannon Lookabill, and Andrea Odo for Smart Furniture by Universal Furniture. Or, I'm sorry, Smart Stuff by Universal Furniture. The second is Richard Schroeder, Dennis Kassain for Stanley Furniture. Third, Richard Schroeder and Dennis Kassain for Stanley Furniture. And the fourth, Steve Hodges and Associates for Coaster Company of America. And the winner is Steve Hodges and Associates.
The Lemoore Collection by Steve Hodges Associates, ASFD, for Coaster Company of America. This collection features an interesting combination of finishes, colors, and hardware. A lively design for youth furniture.
Holy crap. Thank you.
I'll clean up after myself.
And I thought I was a writer. Our next presenter, who will present for casual dining, formal dining, and motion upholstery, the ever-youthful Jeff Selik.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, hello everyone. I am Jeff Selik, president of Hillside Furniture, and I am so honored to be a part of the 20th anniversary of the Pinnacle Awards, especially since you planned this wonderful gala event in my honor on my birthday. So that was very nice of all of you. Thank you. But like John said, 20 years ago in October of '95 when the Pinnacle started, I do take a nice bond with the Pinnacles because it was the beginning of both of our, where we are today. And being that that was my first high point, I was bright-eyed and optimistic, and hopefully 40 high points later, I am still bright-eyed and optimistic and loving what I'm seeing here. In addition to presenting, I was actually given the honor of judging for the first time. And that was such an amazing, interesting experience. All of the entries were so unique and special in their own way, but especially I enjoyed judging the student competition, which I know isn't mine, but I just wanted to give a shout out. Where are the students? Somewhere over there? I can't see so well over here. Okay. Special shout out to Kendall College in Grand Rapids from Michigan. Okay. But even though I'm not presenting your category, again, some of your stuff, like I said, really blew me away. 20 years from now, you are going to be up here in the next 20 years, so I was just like you starting out then, and I look forward to hopefully calling some of your names over the next 20 years. The challenge for you is to draw on the past, but not to be bound by it. I saw some crazy cool stuff, be it in the competition and around market. All I ask for you designers is to keep finding the inspiration to push forward from the past and keep designs moving forward. Keep it crazy, keep it different, keep it a little weird, and hopefully we can, again, keep pushing our industry forward every time. So thank you for all your cool stuff, because we wouldn't be able to sell if you didn't have some awesome stuff for us. So without further ado, the finalists for the casual dining category. Focus Dining Table by Rick Berry, ASFD, for Design Institute of America. The Luna by Michael Berman for Brown Jordan. The Miyako Dining Armchair by Carlo Bassi, ASFD, for Tropicalia CV Tenjaya. And lastly, the Zen Collection by Yuzuru Yumakawa for David Francis Furniture. And the Pinnacle goes to the Zen Collection by Yuzuru Yamakawa for David Francis Furniture.
The Zen Collection by Yuzuru Yamakawa for David Francis Furniture. A sexy, classic, modern design, textured weaves, smaller scale, and sweeping curves bring exotic styling to home interior aesthetics. A nice, lightweight design.
Thank you. On behalf of the David Francis Furniture Design team, we're very honored, and thank you.
Next, we have the formal dining category, and the finalists, Albatross by Gianpietro Tonetti. I wanted to get that right. And then next we have the Crest Air Dining Collection by Richard Schroeder, ASFD, and Dennis Gassane, ASFD, for Stanley Furniture. The Bella Dining Table by Michael Walk, ASFD, for Design Institute of America. And the Finley Table by Thomas O'Brien for Century Furniture. And the Pinnacle for formal dining goes to Albatross by Gianpietro Tonetti for Dexo Ornego Cirno Como, Italy.
For Dexo Osenigio of Como, Italy. The flexibility of so many sizes and color options is spot on for today's consumers. Great visual definition in the leg detail.
I will accept the award on their behalf, and they can try to pry it away from me later. Then we have the finalists for the motion upholstery category. We have the Bari by James Culleton by Palliser Furniture Upholstery Limited. The M1 Collection by James Culleton for Palliser Furniture Upholstery. The Perfect Chair PC 8500 Zero Gravity Recliner by David Potter for Human Touch. And the Vici 2 by Calvin Ing, ASFD for Calvin Giamatti by Planum. I carry almost all of these, so I hope everyone wins. And the winner is the M1 by James Culleton for Palliser Furniture.
M1 by James Culleton for Palliser Furniture Upholstery Limited. When the headrest and footrest are in the closed position, this sectional looks like a true stationary piece. Classic lines with wonderful hidden features floating on polished steel legs.
Whew. Wow. A few thank yous. Thank you, ASFD, for letting me join in on this design legacy. Thank you, obviously, to the Palliser team, Brian Rack. You've taught me a lot. And even further back, Stephen Palumbo, who brought me into the industry and taught me a lot of things about furniture. And finally, to that visionary Art Defer over there. He saw this Winnipeg kid and gave him a chance to create and to dream. And thanks so much, everybody.
So on behalf of Palliser Furniture, thanks so much to the judges. This is awesome. We are really excited about this. And James has been a very important part of our team, our design team. So congratulations. Well earned. Thank you so much.
Our next presenter was elected to the Home Furnishings Hall of Fame last year. I have a big crush. I'm going to admit that right now. She will be presenting for stationary upholstery, lighting, accessories, and home office, the incredibly talented and lovely Jena Hall.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for the crush. I'm really honored to present. I've been sitting there with you over the years, anticipating an award. It's exciting to participate. It's exciting to get it. It's exciting to present it. This is awesome. Thank you for the support from the industry, and it's my honor to try to pronounce all the names. But first, the glasses. The computers do away with good vision. For stationary upholstery, the comfort is there. The Haley chair by Ron Lackey, ASFD, for Bernhardt. For Kevin Ing, ASFD, for Calvin Giamatti by Planum. The Sutton chair by Thomas O'Brien. By Century Furniture. And by Norman Couture, ASFD, for Palliser Furniture Upholstery, Inc. And the winner, thank you. I love it. It's better than the Oscars. Feels better, means more to us. For stationary upholstery, Prism 1, 2, 3, Kevin Ing by Kevin Giamatti, Planum.
Prisma by Calvin Ing, ASFD, for Calvin Giamatti by Planum. We love the flexibility between the quilted leather at the bottom and the options of contrasting welt that highlights the frame's many angles. There's a lot of subtlety to the mitered edges and many things that make this design very unique. The variety of cover options on this piece makes it adaptable to a range of modern home environments.
Thanks, Jena, for presenting to me the award. A great thank to the Pinnacle Award Committee and the judges for choosing my design again. My great appreciation to my American business partners, Platinum Furniture, in particular Mr. Warren Peel, Richard Burnett, and Ivana, and all the Platinum friends. Without your support, my design concepts and my brand concepts can never be appreciated at this level today in the American home furnishing market. My salute to all of you, all the rest of you who are present here tonight for this event, because you are taking time even when there are so much other opportunities around elsewhere on Market Monday. You come here because you appreciate and value good designs on home furnishing products. I hope after tonight you can continue to spread this spirit to influence your colleagues, your business partners, and at the end consumers are willing to give more extra credit to original designs of home furnishing products. Thank you all. Thank you.
Before I announce the next winner for the lighting category, I would like to just say one thing to the young designers out there. When you're creative and you have a passion and you don't know where to put it and you've chosen this industry, there's many ways to let your creativity bloom. But this is the greatest industry to make the world more beautiful, to make the home more casual. Don't give up on your dreams, stay true to your passion, and you'll get there. So the finalists for lighting: Brand Tour Table Lamp, Pride Saucer ASFD for Century. I love this one. Kissing Butterfly Lamps by Mandy Sanana, ASFD for the Phillips collection. Partial to butterflies, I'm sorry. Nostalgia by Diam Laganoff of Studio Italia, Design USA. Pin Hanging Lamp. Sarita Quito Pon for Phillips collection. And the winner is Pin Hanging Lamp. And I have to say it again, Sarita Katpa Pon.
Pin Hanging Lamp by Saruta Kiatparpun for Phillips collection. A very strong green story here in the use of metals that would otherwise be discarded. This piece has great visual interest.
Hi, I'm Saruta. Not really, but we are so happy to accept this in her honor. And what's really interesting about this piece is it's made from all reclaimed end-of-life metal stamping. So she's taken something as a student winner. We've taken it to the U.S. market, and we just couldn't be happier. So on behalf of Saruta, thank you.
The finalists for accessories. The jewelry. The jewelry. It has to enhance and not take away. The corridor bar by Matthew Weatherly by BDI. By Dan Foley for the Phillips collection. Prisma Area Rugs by Andrew Hayes and Ryan Buchaff by Creative Accents. Sculptured Women by Octavitori Pudi by Phillips Collection. Thank you. And the winner, The Corridor Bar by Matthew Weatherly.
Corridor Bar by Matthew Weatherly for BDI. We think this is a fantastic product, well designed. A bar without being over the top. A lot of storage in a piece with a fairly small footprint. Its clean lines and interesting construction are very appealing.
I want to thank the ASFD panel and a big thanks to the team back at BDI who really make it possible. So, and Bill, would you like to say something?
Thank you very much for the honor. Matt joined BDI 11 years ago. He found us, and the best thing I did was to hire him. So he's done a great job. I'm very proud of his work. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
A category I did not know much about until I got involved a few years ago. I learned to love it and do it for a number of years, and I really still have a very strong feeling about it, and that's home office. Function and form are the key words when you marry them together, and to be able to make it meaningful and still look great, I say that home office has come a long way, and it continues to be a challenge with new technology. But to these finalists, we congratulate you. Crestar Home Office by Rick Schroeder, ASFD, and Dennis Kassan, ASFD for Stanley. Heart Desk by Mark Boudreau of Eurostyle. Sequel, Executive Office by Matthew Weatherly by BDI. And last but not least, Sequel Wall Mount Desk by Matthew Weatherly, BDI. This is fun. I'm sorry it's my last one. Sequel Wall Mount Desk, Matthew Weatherly.
Sequel Wall Mount Desk by Matthew Weatherly for BDI. Beautiful and flexible to use at table height, counter height, or even bar height for reception. This is a true innovation. With its minimalistic design, this mountable desk is a practical solution for small spaces. We love the design.
Holy crap. Wow. Once again, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Is Matthew the Taylor Swift of the Pinnacle Awards? You'll better hope he's not in any more categories. Our next presenter, I've been asked if we were twins, but it's not true. Our next presenter for home entertainment, John, we need to make these bigger. My eyes are just terrible. No. Bedroom and summer casual, Jason Harris, founder and CEO of the Design Network.
John, I'm just glad you didn't say you had a crush on me. That's, well, my name is Jason Harris with Furnitureland South. My brother and I own Furnitureland South and High Point, as well as our new broadband television network, the Design Network, which is launching on Apple TV in January, which we're very excited about. But I got to say that I was very enlightened, Mr. Epperson, to take that journey down memory lane with you. You should have lived it. I know, well, actually, it's scary that I was very intimate with every one of those collections that you talked about, so I'm getting old. But anyway, we've got some great categories here, and thank you for the opportunity to present these. The first is home entertainment, and home entertainment has changed really from a room to what we do, entertaining at home. The home theater has become passé as we move into multi-use gathering areas using multiple screens. We're on demand and we're digital. One thing is for sure, we want furniture designed to support how we relax and entertain, and the following nominees have done just that. The Axle Media Console by Peter Gregory for Dimplex North America. Carrera Cabinet by Stuart Ware for John Richard. Drake by Christine Lemieux for Dwell Studio by Magnus and Holm. And finally, Vertica Low Media Cabinet by Matthew Weatherly for BDI. And the winner is Drake by Christian Lemieux for Dwell Studio by Magnus and Holm.
Drake by Christian Lemieux for Dwell Studio by Magnus and Holm. Understated yet sophisticated, a wonderful combination of beautiful woods, contemporary horizontal lines, and flexibility of design make this cabinet a great solution for home entertainment. The execution is very clean, and the size and color options make it appealing to a wide audience.
Okay, and I'm going to accept this on her behalf and take it home with me. Okay, my next category is summer casual. What's a better thought than summer casual? For many of us, it's what we work for. It's our destination. Flip-flops, denim t-shirts, being sun-kissed and sand between our toes. We want to be comfortable and carefree. This year's nominees help support that lifestyle, but also keep us in style at the same time. Candace Olson Outdoor for Century by Candace Olson for Century Furniture. Connection by Richard Frenier, ASFD for Brown Jordan. The Continuum Chair by Carlo Basso, ASFD for Tropicalia. And finally, the Lounge Chair by Frederic C. Daughtry for Gloucester Furniture. And the winner is the Continuum Chair by Carlo Basso.
Continuum Chair by Carlo Basso, ASFD for Tropicalia. Beautiful, graceful lines and form. The positive, negative space creates beautiful shadows below and around the chair and allow the air movement to cool the user. The proportions are perfect, and it appears to be ergonomically correct and very comfortable. The height of the seat and back are appropriate
only say
to an
thank
outdoor
you.
setting. And could
Special
easily go
thanks
from
to
patio.
Ferdinand, Andrew, and my wife. Thank you.
Okay, my last category is bedroom. What's that? Bedroom. It's where we spend a third of our lives. It's where we recharge and where we're the most intimate. It's our sanctuary and our refuge. Today's bedroom design is eclectic and softer. A great designer told me just today, if your headboard matches your nightstands that match your chest, it's time to start over. So the nominees for the best bedroom furniture designs are Casablanca by Frederick Spector, ASFD, and Alan Antonelli for Casana Furniture Company. Kensington Metal Canopy Bed by Steve Joyner and Erica Wingo for Bernhardt. The Modern Muse Bedroom by Dudley Moore, ASFD, and Lenny Chapman, ASFD, for Universal Furniture. And the Miter Bedroom by Michael Showalter for Gat Creek. And the winner is the Modern Muse Bedroom. Dudley Moore, Universal.
Modern Muse Bedroom by Dudley Moore, ASFD, and Lenny Chapman, ASFD, for Universal Furniture. This bedroom has great scale with a variety of interesting pieces, style elements, and finish mixes.
Congratulations. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You hold it. Hold it. Take a quick picture. Yeah, okay.
So it's funny, we have this, every year we do a competition at our table and we all bet on, or we actually do have a bet. Anyway, I'm winning, incidentally. But I bet on Fred Spector. I thought that was an awesome group. Anyway, so I'm happy to be wrong. Anyway, first and foremost, I want to thank Lenny. He's a fabulously talented guy, and I'm proud of him, really proud of him. We want to thank the client, Universal, of course, Jeff Sheffrin particularly. Jeff's been really good to us, and he gives us the freedom to do what we want to do, which is fun. So we're very appreciative. Thank you, ASFD. Thank you, judges. Lenny.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our next presenter, who will present the Student Award and the Greenleaf Award, Jerry Epperson.
Well, the first award is for the students, and I'm excited about this. Yes, sir. The first is the Wabi Sabi Mirror and Table by Eni Lee Parker, ASFD, Savannah College of Art and Design. The second is the Ophelia Side Chair by Heather Cito, ASFD, Kendall College of Art and Design. The Kids' Stools from Kenyi Wu, Kendall College of Art and Design. And the Grace Chair from Tien Yang Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. Thank you. You know, this is interesting because I'm not going to say this loud, but you gave me the wrong one. But I know who's going to win the major collection. Okay.
Let's try this. I'll trade you.
Don't worry, nobody noticed. And the winner is the Grace Chair by Tien Yang, Art Center College of Design, Pasadena.
The Grace Chair by Tian Yang, Art Center College of Design, Pasadena, California. A gorgeous chair, aptly named. Great balance and whimsy as it appears to be sitting on its tail. We can appreciate the attention to the subtle details in this piece, allowing it to have a real sense of sculpture. The thing that strikes us the most, beyond the idea and inspiration, is the designer's complete understanding of the chair's production process and how it is to be manufactured.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. It's such an honor to win this award. Actually, this is my first time come here. And thank you, ASFD. Thank you, Pinnacle Award, gave me this great opportunity. And I want to say thank you, John, the great help. And I want to say thank you, my school, Art Center, College of Design. Thank you very much. Thank you.
He likes to have his English name is Austin, by the way. So we say, hi, Austin. Hi, Austin. Everybody wave. There he is. Okay. He has never been to High Point here before, so you have all the opportunity to tell him everything that's great about High Point Market. But more importantly, he couldn't believe it was this big. That's what California is all about.
Okay. The Greenleaf Award is, first of all, the Askin Wall Panel by Dietmar Dudelex at Phillips Collection. Enlightened Chandelier by Clayton Oxford for Asian Loft. The Pin Hanging Lamp, I've seen that before, by Saruta Kat Parpoon for Phillips Collection. And the Natural Reclaimed Frame by Cliff Hand for Recherche Furnishings, Inc. And the winner is how about that? The Askin Wall Panel by Dietmar Dudelex for Phillips Collection.
Askin Wall Panel by Dietmar Dudelex for Phillips Collection. Very handsome and noble. This piece shows appreciable responsibility for sourcing materials and making innovative use of them. An excellent example of adding value on the supply side and for the consumer. This is a beautiful design with an aggressive new twist on wall decor. The mass and scale of the wood and of the overall piece provide a great masculine counterpart to contemporary or global decor.
All right, again, Mr. Duthieu couldn't be here tonight, but I'm sure he's thrilled, and we'll be sure to communicate the news back to him, so thank you all very much.
Our final award tonight is for Major Collections. It will be presented by the CEO of International Market Centers, Mr. Bob Maricich.
Wow, I realize I'm keeping you from whatever's next, so I'll be brief here. Jerry, going through that incredible list of industry-changing things, I couldn't help but remember the people running those companies. And many of them, for those of you that went last night to the Hall of Fame dinner, many of them are in the Hall of Fame, right?
Absolutely.
And
we hope a lot more.
And we hope a lot more, many in this room. One of the things that struck me about Major Collections is just the incredible conviction that it takes to develop 40, 50, 60 pieces of furniture all at once that go together in a world that is eclectic. It does take courage and it does take conviction. But as much as anything, it takes a leader that believes that this is valuable. And I could make the case that art today wouldn't be what it was or what it is without the Medicis. In that context, the people that are running these companies, before we get to the designers that win these awards, I want to acknowledge. So in the context of people with conviction and courage at ART Furniture, Jeff Cook and his team. At Bernhardt Furniture, the Bernhardt family, Alex Bernhardt and his team. The Century family, the Schufords, Alex Comer-Ware. And the Hooker family, Paul Toms. Because truly, they're the Medicis of the furniture industry today. The nominees for the finalists for the Major Collections, Collection 1 by Dave Clark, ASFD, Keith Binns, and Tim Lehman for ART Furniture. Jet Set by Dudley Moore, ASFD, Lenny Chapman, ASFD, and Laura Neese, ASFD, for Bernhardt Furniture. The Thomas O'Brien Collection by Thomas O'Brien for Century Furniture. And Treviso by Dudley Moore, ASFD, Lenny Chapman, ASFD, and Carolyn Shaw, ASFD, for Hooker Furniture. And the winner is Jet Set. Dudley Moore, ASFD, Lenny Chapman, and Laura Neese for Bernhardt Furniture.
Jet Set by Dudley Moore, ASFD, Lenny Chapman, ASFD, and Laura Neese, ASFD, for Bernhardt. A beautiful, chic, well-executed major collection. We are impressed with the coherent feel across the entire collection, its sophisticated lines, and the use of a variety of rich finishes. Many pieces are independent, yet they all have the same underlying theme. We find this transitional collection relevant, inspiring, and absolutely gorgeous. Well done.
Wow. I want to thank Bernhardt. They really pushed us on this group, and it really was a lot of fun and a lot of work. We hated it for a little while, and we loved the rest. And I want to get out of the way because these guys do the work. They've got the magic in them. So you guys come up here. This is Laura.
We appreciate this honor very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I know you'd all like to stay a lot longer. There is a press conference tomorrow for all of the winners at the Media Link Center. Also, if all of the winners could just stand for 1 minute. I know we're all eager to go, but these people put a lot of effort and time and work into the things that they did. If you'd each just stand up. These are the creators of the art of American life. Thank you all, and have a good night. Please get home safely.